Well, hello. I am expecting. Yes, it wasn't a surprise. It's very much a planned pregnancy, which in itself is a little bit maybe odd for some who think it might be unwise to do something like that in the middle of a pandemic. I have personally wanted to complete our family for years. I have diarized my last two pregnancies on here, and I didn't do it often or consistently, but the ones I did do, I find I treasure, because I had them 15 months apart. We had a whirlwind of everything. We ended up moving provinces and new job and new house and felt like everything. And it feels like a lifetime ago. And there's so many things I don't remember. And it was years ago. So Brielle will be turning 6 in July. And Brighton is 7. He just turned 7 in March, and months to be where we are today. It took like 6 or 7 months. And I know we're in the middle of a pandemic, but this was something we, looked forward to, and we're planning before we knew that all of this was going to happen. And I didn't, as Elle Fowler really put it really well, said you only have 12 chances out of a whole year. I had taken so many negative tests that in April I said, let's just take a break. Let's just not think about it. And I'm not going to pee on any more sticks for, tracking. And I'm not going to track anything. I'll put stuff in my app here and there, like in terms of symptoms or like personal things. But like I didn't do any of the extra stuff. And it's the same. It's the month we got pregnant, which we weren't really we were planning, but we weren't planning, if that makes any sense at all. I have not been to a doctor yet, but I have taken several pregnancy tests. And the biggest shock, because I had taken one 6 days prior and it came out negative, and I said, oh, well, it's not going to happen. I'm not pregnant. Not a big deal. But then 6 days later, and I was like, why haven't I gotten my period yet? That's actually kind of odd, because I use, what app do I use? Oh, I'm filming on my phone, so I can't pull it up. But I use a period tracker, and it's so usually consistent. And so I was late by several days. And so I, just for giggles, had my husband go to the store and pick one up. And I told him to get 2 because I was going to do one in the morning, which I don't know if that's even a thing anymore. But back in the day, it was like you could only do it in the morning, and that was like the most accurate sample. But I did it that night, like right away. And I actually didn't even have a lot to use to sample, but I was just eager because I was so late. And within seconds, I could see that line in the tiny box on the clear blue, and I was shocked. And I woke up in the morning the next morning and did it again and again, and it was the same thing. So, and they're bright blue. And so it just goes to show what a difference like 6 days will make when you're taking these tests, because I've taken them for more than half a year. I've been taking so many. Called my doctor on Monday, so today's Wednesday. 2 days ago, and we talked on the phone, and I have a list of appointments that we've made in the same place from now all the way up until July. I am 5 weeks and a day. My first appointment will be May 4th, and that will be for a dating ultrasound. The reason why I'm doing this, even though I have such good data, is that the dates don't add up. And then you read in all this other stuff where it's like you can be pregnant and still get your period, and then you maybe I had 2 cycles. Maybe something happened and I had 2 cycles in 1 month because it was like a long period. I honestly don't know. There's all this stuff. The 2 cycles things like that actually came from my doctor who had said that, and it'll be my first time at the doctor, and it'll be my first real like sense of if this is happening and real and all of that. I'm so excited. I'm also very reserved. So the other thing is I'm letting things get to me. The fact that I am not sick or having to pee all the time, or with my other 2 pregnancies, I would just like wake up in the middle of the night or early morning, and I would just be wired. Like I would just be wide awake. And calm down. I feel pretty normal. I haven't been extremely tired. All the things that I really remember experiencing with both Brielle and Brighton, just exhaustion, and both of them I was very ill and nauseous. I mean, I know everything is different. I'm in a totally different space and place. I had my kids when I was in my 20s. I am in my mid 30s. I will be 35 in October. And so I'm like, is this part of it? I mean, your mind really just goes and goes and goes and goes, especially if you let it. So I found out on April 21st, a Tuesday, on a whim. Just Brennan had some extra time and he was willing to go to the store for me. I was shaking. I was in such shock. And he didn't really seem that excited. I think he was in shock and also didn't believe me. He's like, okay. And because I also made sure he knew to get 2. I really just didn't think he didn't believe me. And then the next day I did it again. And then later that day, I asked him, I'm like, are you excited? Are you like in disbelief? Or like, what is it that I'm feeling and sensing from you? And he too is really nervous. And he's like, well, it's so long from now, like that 12-week period and all that. And so we talked about it and all the things. So, and I think in general, lots of people and men are like that, where they reserve their excitement just to guard their heart and be on the safer side. Oh, calm down. Things I've done since I found out. So since April 21st, I have been on so many baby websites, and I've been on Instagram, and did buy was a beautiful what do you call it? Bohemian. I was gonna say hobo and not boho. Those bohemian baskets, and I love them, but I don't think that like it's something I have to buy. Like I have these gorgeous new-ish pack and plays that have that first level. I was like, I don't really need a basket, but I loved the look of it. And so I was on their website and I saw the basket changing mat, and it's like you lay it out and you put the mat in, and it's what you use to change the baby on, like on top of a dresser or something. It looked beautiful right on that dresser. So I bought that, and it hasn't arrived yet because that was wild. And plus there's obviously no rush, but there's a lot more important things going on. But it did feel really good to find something that I knew was useful. And the best part about it, in my opinion, is that even though it's for changing diapers and things, when you're done with it, you can take the mat out and use it. So I have this great big long console table here, and I could display it there, or I could put it on a coffee table, or I mean, there's so many different things you could do with it. A changing basket was my compromise. So that is the very first thing. No, sorry. I did want to share this. The very first thing I did was, there is a girl local to where I live who does like hand portraits, and she's really a photographer, but that area is really limited right now. I actually haven't said this in the beginning. Maybe I should put it in the beginning. I'm not sure. I actually haven't told anybody except my sister-in-law, and we did tell our mother-in-law because I felt like she needed some good news. we told them by showing her this. It's really cute, and I was going to put it in my kitchen. I know it's so early, and she did it within a day, which was crazy, and then hand delivered it. So it's special, and it's a keepsake, and it's honestly, I'm not sure, but I think I'll probably use that to tell everybody. That which brings me to this, I guess, with you guys. I'm not good at keeping secrets. Brendan wants to keep this all like hush hush and not say anything, and I just want to explode because I'm so excited. Or if I'll keep it on private until the ultrasound or not, or if I'll just post it. I probably will just post it. Who am I kidding? This also brought me to all of the jokes and things about babies being born during pandemic. And I know it's cute. I mean, sure, like people make those jokes all the time for like Valentine's Day and like, you know, baby booms and bursts of certain holidays and things and whatever. But it's interesting because it's like the very first area I'd say that I'm like, I'm not offended, but I'm also like not enthused or impressed. Having babies and getting pregnant regardless, like if you know you have kids or not, or it's really tough. I'm not usually one to get overly offended by things. I'm really not. But the jokes that I've seen going around about all of the quarantine babies actually don't enthuse me. I'm 5 weeks and I'm already like kind of have my back up against something that I haven't even had to address yet. Like anyone coming and saying like, oh, like you're a quarantine baby or any of those things. When reality, I have wanted for so long. The best way I can describe it is that I've always felt that I was meant to be a mom of more kids, like 3 or 4 kids. I'm not going to articulate this well. I just think that it does tie into making the April Fool's jokes and all that ties in with pregnancy and getting there and everyone's journey getting there and finally seeing that positive on a pregnancy test. Yeah. In my old videos, I always gave bump dates. I'm not like overly comfortable giving you guys a bump date. I will. But the reality of this pregnancy, I am much older and I gained a significant amount of weight over the past year. I sort of threw off my metabolism and all of that by taking an antidepressant for seasonal affective disorder. I just wasn't getting enough sunshine and I was a mess. And it was one of the harshest winters where I live that they've seen. And I think, I don't remember, it was like 60 or 80 years or something described. It was really helpful and I liked it. And made me gain a lot of weight. And so where I'm going with that is that I already weigh more than my other 2 pregnancies from the start. So far, I have gained 5 to 7 pounds in literally the 5 weeks. My hair, and I have no idea if this is tied to this or not, but I'm losing a lot of hair right now, like a lot. So there's that. I wasn't sure if that had anything to do with that. It could be my thyroid. That would be a reason for hair loss. Oh, do I really want to show you my stomach? I really don't. Okay. Here is a side view. And if I suck in, but a lot of that was honestly already there from like losing toneness. I look really bloated, like really bloated. That is all from me. Really excited. Until next week, have a good week.